It's time for another pivotal earnings call for PayPal stock. And with PayPal being on a massive decline once again, can this management team give us numbers that will save us from falling down into the oblivion? So let's talk about what actually matters on these earnings, and I'll give you my exact plan for PayPal stock. But I do have one massive concern as well that we will discuss too. Just make sure you like the video if you like getting the truth out the hype, because that is exactly what we're going to get today, guys. And hey, we call it PayPal for a reason here. Been calling it that for a long time. I completely understand, but we got to talk about the earnings. So let's discuss the top 3 things that I'm looking for on this earnings call, and then jump to the one big concern with this earnings that I have, and then I'll tell you my exact plan for PayPal stock. So here are the 3 things I'm watching for during this earnings. Kicking it off with number 1 is, have they continued executing share buybacks or accelerated them? Now, when the price of a stock is cheap like PayPal is, and you have billions authorized to buybacks, that is the time to buy back shares, which is exactly what they have been doing all year long. Now, for context here, Palantir, has buybacks on as well, but you aren't getting a lot of bang for your buck there, right? So I hope they haven't really been using them nearly as much as PayPal has. But for PayPal, they should be buying back like crazy. And honestly, they should be accelerating those buybacks, given that PE continues to come down more and more and more and more each quarter. So, hey, stock price beaten down like this, let's not only be buying back shares, let's accelerate those buybacks. So hopefully the management team is doing that, because it will help those EPS numbers in the future, and all the cheap shares that they buy, and the more that they can take off the table, that will continue to juice that EPS number in the future there. That right there is the key. That we might not get the direct benefit right now, but boy, in the future, massive, massive benefit. Ask Apple shareholders how beneficial buybacks have been on that stock for the past decade. It has provided unbelievable value to Apple shareholders. But let's move on to number 2, and that is, what is the impact of the trade war or tariffs or all that good stuff? So as we've seen, the trade war, tariffs, whatever the heck you want to call it there, has caused many companies to adjust guidance, or in some cases pull guidance, or in some cases they just simply put it out there as kind of like a caveat, like, hey, we think the business is here. However, because of all this noise over here, this right here could be a secondary effect on our business. Now, obviously, PayPal doesn't have the same issues that an Amazon or a Walmart or somebody else may very well have with all this different tariff trade war noise that's going on. But are they seeing or projecting kind of like a trickle-down effect from there, or not, in regards to their earnings and in regards to their customers? Secondarily, because of all this, are there new initiatives that they've been rolling out, moving and creating opportunities that many may be jumping on to kind of offset some of the tariff pain in the first place? So a lot of the vendors that use them, are they jumping on board even more because they're either trying to get ahead of something that may very well happen, or just simply that new initiative, you want to kind of get ahead of the curve per se before it affects your business anymore? That is possible and would be a huge win for PayPal. Kind of like it seems Palantir is seeing business increase as everybody kind of expects some sort of margin compression, and folks are accelerating plans to offset that margin compression, which of course benefits Palantir because that's what they're doing. They're coming in and helping folks get more efficient in the end. So do customers who are using the new tools or potentially looking to use them see them as more necessary as they try to navigate kind of the potential impacts of all the trade wars and tariffs and everything else going on right now? It might very well go from a nice to have to it's critical to our business. And what is management saying their client base is doing will give us a lot of color on what the impact will be for PayPal. So on to the last thing that matters, and this one will determine the future stock price we are going to get. So it is absolutely massive, guys. And make sure you understand these points really with all your stocks, but man, specifically right here for PayPal, this one right here could be huge. So on to the last point and the biggest, which is, will we get increased guidance? Now, Alex has preached they want to get far more profitable and focus on less customer growth. That was the plan from the start. If you didn't like that plan from the start, you shouldn't have invested in the company, but that was how they were going to turn around the business. And that is exactly what we saw in earnings all last year, right? We saw profitability getting better, but customer growth lowering down, getting slower. They're focusing on the more high profit customer, high profit business, high margin business, and less on, hey, we just want to acquire customers even if it costs us money and even if they never end up using the platform. They got away from that model. That was the old management team that focused on customer growth at all costs, to include earnings, right? And now they're coming back to, hey, let's focus on earnings and growing high quality, high margin customers instead. A very, very different approach to it. But are we going to see an increase in guidance? Do they say growth starting to accelerate once again, especially in EPS. That would be awesome and just a huge, huge positive sign. Basically, have some things move better than expected, and maybe that EPS number will be moved up, revenue number moved up. If so, it shows that margins have improved and of course profits, and it will be a huge win for us as shareholders. Now, it doesn't mean the stock's going to go to the moon or anything else of that nature, but that is what Wall Street's waiting on. And if we can get those increased guidance, it means, hey, not only is the turnaround plan working, we're going to start seeing some improvements in the plan and improvement in the business overall. Now, if not, then it means we have a longer time to wait before Wall Street gets behind it. Unfortunately, guys, that's the truth without the hype. I know we've been waiting for a long time, but these type turnarounds take time. That is part of a turnaround stock. I wish that they were all like other stocks that we've owned, but that's just simply not the case here with PayPal. So what is my big concern with PayPal? Well, it is if Wall Street focuses on customer growth only, because that's what the old management team says, and they just completely ignore growth in EPS, growth in revenue, growth in margins. This is what Wall Street does sometimes. They focus on something that is an irrelevant metric. It's a metric that was relevant, 20 years ago. It's not relevant now, or 10 years ago. It's not necessarily relevant now. It's stupid, it's dumb, and so short-sighted, but it wouldn't surprise me at all because Wall Street is dumb in the end. I said from the start that his vision is not going to be a straight line up like Meta was, right? That right there, their turnaround was completely different, where they didn't need to endure any pain to really turn it around, right? I mean, literally, it was just stop spending on the metaverse and, pay attention to your business for 5 seconds and realize you got a whole lot of employees out there making $250K a year that aren't even working. They don't have a job right now. There was lots of employees out there in Meta. It was a very, very easy turnaround. This one was very, very different. You had to completely change the business. Everything, front end to back end and everything in between, completely different than Meta, where it was just basically stop blowing money and lighting on fire and just lock down on your business a little bit. Pretty simple stuff. That's why you saw that reversal in Meta happen so fast. But that is not true with PayPal, unfortunately. I wish it was, but hey, it is not the case. That is not the sort of turnaround that it is. So what is my plan for PayPal? Well, you guys know I already have a ton of PayPal stock, but I am paying attention to the continued progress with the business overall, especially in regards to the EPS number and bringing in increasing margins and bringing in higher quality customers. If it's moving in the right direction, all the numbers, all the metrics are moving in the right direction in regards to what Alex has guided to, right? I'm not worried about total customer count, higher quality customers, EPS moving in the right direction, all those other numbers that we've been talking about moving in the right direction. I'm just simply going to keep holding the stock, guys. That's it. But I will say there are many other stocks that may be a better use of my capital. So I'm actively looking there to deploy capital, and I'm not looking to buy more PayPal at this time. Maybe a little bit of a nibble here and there. But yeah, I have all the PayPal I need. I'm going to deploy that capital other places. And if you want to see exactly where I'm going to deploy that capital and you want to work directly with me to learn how to do evaluation, learn how to set price targets, and everything else involved in investing, I may have left something special down in the pinned comment for those of you guys that stuck around this long, where you learn that through free courses, free coaching, the best 6, 7, and 8-figure Discord out there. Tons of content put out weekly in there that doesn't get put out anywhere else. Check everything out. It's the pinned comment down there. See if a membership's right for you. And click this video here if you want to see exactly what I'm buying in this market. And click here to see my exact plan for this market. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.